Muy buenas chicos, soy Jos y tenemos noticia de última hora. Blizzard acaba de publicar un avance de lo que parece ser la zona del parche del 11.0.7. Este vídeo lo reacciono en directo, por lo cual si veis alguna reacción que no cuadre mucho, no os preocupéis. Pero vamos al lío, vamos a ver qué es lo que ocurre porque se acaba de armar. Esto no era esperado, esto no sabíamos que iba a ocurrir, pero vamos a verlo.
Hi,
Veamos.
I'm Kayla Brown, and I'm
Kayla.
the game producer on the WoW team. I'm here joined with a bunch of our talented developers in order to show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into what we have lined up for our 11.0.7 content update. One of the awesome features that we have coming in with 11.0.7 is actually a brand new zone that we have named Siren Isle. Our design philosophy when creating this zone was to make sure that we made a very engaging outdoor endgame experience that would cater to a whole bunch of different play styles and player types.
Siren Isle is a mysterious island located in a particularly stormy part of the ocean. During the Fourth War, it was used by the Kultirans to mine azurite, and then everybody mysteriously disappeared. Recently, the island has sent out a massive pulse of energy, and everything heard it. And your allies are mounting an expedition to this island to find out what happened and investigate.
Players arrive in Dornegal to meet up with the goblin Skagit, which is Gazlo's assistant. And we find that the Earthen and the Arathi have already made it to the island, so naturally Skagit's ready to go. He's like, get on the Zeppelin, let's go, it's time for adventure. So what's fun about the Siren Isle is when players arrive, we see signs that Kultirans have been here before, but there seems to be nobody around, which is really interesting. We see all these buildings and structures, but by the time the expedition gets there, it's empty. It's one of those fun little mysteries, we hope. So on this island, players are going to have a wealth of enemies to encounter. We actually have 3 separate groups. So we have the Bloodwake Frykul, we have the Naga, and then we have a bunch of pirates. These groups will be rotating around on the island, so players won't encounter the same group week to week. Also, players will encounter a large crystal in the center of the island that seems to sing gently or hum, which has attracted the attention of both the Arathi and the Earthen. So our friends on the island, they're all here for different reasons, which is really exciting. The Earthen and the Arathi are here to study the crystal, and you know, the goblins are interested in what the crystal can do, right? And so they're a really fun cast of people to have because they're so different, but it's also fun to have them all together here because their differences actually might be more complementary than we think.
Siren Isle, being in a particularly stormy part of the ocean, is regularly lashed by horrible tempests. During these storms, powerful creatures of all kinds come up out of the ocean and assault the island. Players can defend their allies to go into the storm. In order to do this, their allies have provided them with vehicles and weapons and other tools that they can use to take on these much more powerful enemies. There's all these crazy powerful enemies that show up, and you get to use these tools. For example, my favorite is the crawler mines. You can grab them, target one of the big nasties, and just have the bomb run up to it and explode. Boom. There's 3 caves on the island that are sealed up. Each of these caves has a deadly enemy inside. Players will be able to chip in, and you can donate to their excavations. And each of the factions, the Earthen, the Goblin, and the Arathi, have a different cave on the island, and players can donate to get the events to open.
Get your feet moving. We got a tunnel to blast open.
Okay.
Cyrce Circlet is a mysterious ring that once belonged to a mythical, legendary siren named Circe. It's a very powerful item that'll give you an edge, especially on the Siren Isle. And as weeks unfold, you'll be able to unlock more gems, more powers associated with Siren Isle and the ring. So this is actually a model of Cyrce Circlet that you'll be able to see in game. One of our artists, Brittany Reinhardt, was able to throw it together, and you can see, like, even in game, you'll be able to see it on your character, which is, I thought it was pretty cool. You'll be able to interact with a lot of different pieces of content using this ring. It'll be fairly strong, and it'll
Dragonflight.
have 3 different sockets. Each one is a different type, and you'll be able to collect a myriad of different gems that fit into these sockets, all of which do different things. Even in the current season, they'll be fairly strong, and in the next season, they'll kind of be strong enough to give you a leeway to the new content coming up. There's a slew of really cool mounts, a bunch of different transmog appearances, some of which are unused from past years that are really exciting to finally get into the players' hands. They've seen it in the files long enough.
First thing is we look for a lot of reference to make sure that we're making something believable, something that seems like it's grounded in nature's rules enough so that when players look at it, there's nothing that's just like totally breaks their immersion. The aesthetic is really interesting. It's kind of inspired in some ways by the American Southwest. Like I was looking at some references of Arizona and stuff, the elements of those cliffs there. And so those are some of the things that we'll do to bring the world to life. We have filled this thing with a lot of secrets, even more than in some of our previous full zone maps, because it's smaller, it's denser. So I'm excited to see if people can find all the crazy stuff that we did. I put in this little spooky spot back here. The quest designers wanted like an atmospheric kind of creepy spot, so I put like lots of animal bones have kind of been washing up in here. Another thing that's cool too is all these little like caves and micros that we added in. Each one kind of has its own crazy theme. Like over here, they'll spawn in this like crazy dragon that's gonna get spawned in from all these bones that have been collected and stuff. So that's kind of like the pinnacle of this like little creepy pocket over here. This used to be like an azurite mine over here in the center. So there's like elements of what happened here, but then you can tell something bad happened. And there's also this really cool stuff that was put up in the ridges of the mountains. And one of the things I helped out with doing was like making a lot of this space playable. So instead of just being limited to a flat 2D plane, we can put stuff on top of that 2D plane, and then you get new gameplay experiences, new vantage points, like this big mine track that goes above everything. We definitely do a lot of play testing and soup testing amongst ourselves, and that really helps too. I'm not just kind of designing stuff in my corner that will like get people to actually run through it, and I'll get opinions from people who haven't been building it to see like where do they get lost, where are the pain points here. And that's a process we don't just go through for this, we go through it for all the spaces we design in our game. And again, we'll also look back at previous examples of what did players like from previous zones, what did they not like. We try to learn from our past mistakes and learn from our past successes and bring that forward into our new stuff.
One of my favorite little Easter eggs, because there were plenty on this isle, there were plenty of Easter eggs and secrets for people to look forward to. One of my favorites personally is the Beastiary, actually, all the creatures that are native to the island. One of the things that I took a lot of inspiration from was actually Darwin's finches on the Galapagos, and that essentially states that there are all of these finches that are very closely related, but on different islands their beaks have become different, right? So they have adapted to do different things, to eat different things. So I took that concept and I put it on the Siren Isle. It's like, we have this isle, where are all the creatures that have come here? How has the island been affected over time? Like, all of the creatures are intentional, and it's a fun Easter egg that I don't think people would look for, but I hope that they'll enjoy uncovering the secret of the history of the isle through the creatures as well.
Vale.
Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Our team had a blast in creating and bringing to life Siren Isle, and we really hope that you have just as much fun exploring it as the team did in creating it. Wanted to thank you all again, and we really hope to see you all in the Siren Isle.
Vale. Entonces, para recopilar lo que dice aquí en el vídeo, tenemos una zona estilo a la del norte de Dragonflight, que ¿cómo se llamaba la del norte de Dragonflight? Que no me acuerdo ahora mismo. Bueno, ya sabéis, la que estaba justamente al norte, el confín olvidado, en el cual vamos a tener un anillo que se ve que están hablando de gemas, estilo similar a lo que tuvimos con lo de las llaves, pero a ver cómo se consigue estas gemas. Tendremos la oportunidad de buscar secretos, tendremos una especie de desbloqueo de 3 estancias que se abren a medida que aportas materiales, habrá secretos, habrá cosméticos, habrá monturas. Bueno, vamos a ver, es importante mencionar, y esto quiero que quede bastante claro, que el 11.0.7 es un parche pequeño, ¿vale? Es una zona, yo no me esperaba una subzona. La verdad no me lo esperaba. Sí que es cierto que hubiese visto en este caso, hubiese pensado en el 10.0.7 o tal. A lo mejor sí me lo hubiese imaginado, pero yo no me esperaba que iba a llegar a esta zona. Decidme ahí abajo, ¿qué opináis? Bueno, primer avance. Muy interesante. Justo ahora además ha salido también el artículo oficial del parche 11.0.7. No está de momento en castellano cuando lo grabo, así que bueno, disculparme. The World Within, actualización de contenido del 11.0.7 en el PTR el 31 de octubre. Eso es ya. Eso es ya. La actualización de contenido 11.0.7 de The World Within estará disponible en el RPP el 31 de octubre. Pon tu mirada en la isla Sirena y navega hacia un mundo de misterio y caos con la actualización del contenido 11.0.7 de The World Within. Navega hacia el reino de pruebas de jugadores para vivir las aventuras que te esperan y envíanos tus comentarios en los foros oficiales. PTR. Responde a la llamada de la isla de la Sirena. Enfréntate a viejos enemigos y descubres nuevos misterios. Hay una nueva moneda disponible, el hierro bendito por las llamas, que se puede canjear por objetos como monturas, mascotas, transfiguración, así como las mejoras para un nuevo poderoso anillo, el Círculo de Cyrce, que los jugadores pueden encontrar. El hierro bendito por las llamas también se usa para generar uno de los 3 jefes de eventos en la isla, lo que le da a los jugadores la oportunidad adicional de recompensas únicas. Básicamente lo que ha salido en el vídeo de las 3 cuevas que se tienen que desbloquear. Esta moneda las conseguiremos en la isla y podremos canjear un montón de recompensas. Es un parche intermedio, lo vuelvo a decir, es para dar contenido a la temporada 1. Agrega un poco de chispa a tu aventura cuando recolectes objetos en la isla de las sirenas para ayudar a liberar a Zrayir, Ojos de la Sirena, un electrizante montura de cuervo de tormenta. Esta montura lleva desde Legión, creo, en los datos del tiempo, en los datos del WoW. Esa montura, ese cuervo que ha aparecido, vamos, lleva desde Legión. O sea, no sé si antes, incluso ya un montón de tiempo en los datos sin aparecer, sin utilizarse. Así que bueno, ahí está. Hay una tormenta de saqueos en el horizonte. Bueno, PLUNDERSTORM, este evento inspirado en el modo Battle Royale, regresa por tiempo limitado a principios de 2025. Regresa PLUNDERSTORM. ¡Vamos! Que Leg regresa para saquear las tierras altas de Arati. Únete a la tripulación, lucha para ser el último pirata en pie y hazte con todo el botín que puedas hacerte con el botín de nueva tienda de saqueo, incluidas transfiguraciones y monturas nuevas y las que regresan. Nos está diciendo que el parche va a ser entonces a principios de 2025. Será justo en el momento que se va el evento de aniversario. Todo pinta a ello. Todo pinta a ello. Todo pinta que este parche va a salir justo cuando el aniversario se va a ir. Porque si te está diciendo aquí por tiempo limitado a principios de 2025 es cuando va a llegar el parche como tal. Explora el destino del Kirin Tor. Adéntrate en las consecuencias de la caída de Draran en la cadena de misiones del epílogo La Guerra Interna de World Within. El Kirin Tor debe enfrentar sus errores pasados y decidir el rumbo futuro de su pueblo. Jaina, te esperamos. Prólogo de la historia de la campaña del 11.1. Continúa la historia de World Within y descubre un rostro familiar en la oscuridad. ¿No será la hermana Brisa Veloz? No digo más. El regreso de los turbulentos caminos del tiempo. Los caminos del tiempo se estremecen una vez más. Explora las mazmorras de viajes en el tiempo de expansiones anteriores cada semana para ganar recompensas heroicas. ¡Ojo! Aquellos que dominen los caminos del tiempo nuevamente serán recompensados con la montura. Esto lo tuvimos también en Dragonflight. Es que cada semana habrá un evento paseo en el tiempo. Fue como justamente en Dragonflight y tendremos el logro que ya está disponible con una montura en el juego. Esto ya estuvo en Dragonflight. Es muy similar al parche que tuvimos en Dragonflight. Prácticamente es un copia-pega, pero cambiando la zona, cambiando la temática, la historia. Pero bueno, y PLUNDERSTORM. Cuidado que se viene PLUNDERSTORM. Personalizaciones de orejas de Arati para humanos y cultiranos. Cuidado, cuidado. Los humanos y los habitantes de Cultiras obtendrán nuevas personalizaciones para las orejas de Arati. Diríjate a la peluquería para cambiar las orejas de tu aplicación. Bueno, pues cosmético en este caso. Bueno, o sea, diseño de personaje, opciones de personalización. Esperamos ver cómo la isla de las sirenas durante tu aventura a través de la actualización del contenido 11.0.7. No pierdas vista en la página web para obtener más noticias e información sobre lo que llegará a The World Within. Pues esto es el parche 11.0.7, la preview. Evidentemente esto no va a ser lo único que tenga el parche 11.0.7, pero sí es el comienzo, es justamente lo que se ha anunciado Blizzard. En el momento que esté el PTR abierto, evidentemente le daremos caña y os presentaremos todas y cada una de las novedades. Decidme ahí abajo qué os ha parecido este comienzo del parche 11.0.7, esta introducción. Ya lo esperábamos, ya os lo dije. Espero que os haya gustado el vídeo, pero sobre todo que os haya ayudado a entender qué trae el 11.0.7 a World of Warcraft. Si es así, darle a me gusta, suscribiros al canal siempre para estar al tanto de las novedades. Recordad que toda la información la tenéis siempre disponible en nuestra página web www.altertime.es y que todos los días nos encontramos en Twitch realizando directo. Nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Chao, chao, chicos.